week. You guys got Thunder in here. I think Spurs Saturday night. Can this jolt you guys back to life for at least, what, 4-game stretch before the break?
Yeah, we got 4 home games and for Portland the following Wednesday. So 5 games to finish off on a strong note. Our energy needs to be great. Our attention to detail on boxing out, taking care of the basketball, stuff we talk about all the time, but those two in particular, if we can kind of focus in and hone in on those 2 things and put together, a nice little stretch of games and wins, we want to go into the break with a good vibe, no matter how much guys are looking forward to it. How much they're looking forward to it right now. We want to end off on a good foot.
Hey Steph, that idea of like having an edge, what helps keep that sharp?
You just got to have a certain level of care about what you're doing. Obviously, everybody wants to shoot the ball well. You want to have those moments during the game where the ball is moving side to side. Everybody's getting involved. It's a beautiful style of basketball. But the things that go into having an edge are just a level of care and intensity and mental focus. Being physical, being smart, not giving the other team any kind of life when it comes to just mental lapses. Kind of like in the Denver game where we play great defense, don't box out, they get a couple easy buckets, they get some loose balls, some 50-50s, and then they start to build life. And give any NBA team life, and it's tough in this league. So that's the best way to kind of go about that.
Obviously, making the All-Star team is a huge honor. But do people kind of underestimate just sort of how mentally and physically tough it is not to be able to get that break, and especially with 4 of you guys not getting that break, is that kind of, does that make it kind of trickier?
Yes and no. Obviously, we're not the first. We are the first to go back 4 guys in a row, but I think there's All-Stars every year that have been for decades and decades of guys that have found a way to have that elevated intensity throughout the course of the season, do whatever it takes in a short amount of time in between. The Portland game and I think we play the Clippers when we get back from the break. You got to find whatever it is, personally that gets you to a solid state of mind and feeling good about yourself and whatever you need to fill that tank up, coming back to the break. So it's a different challenge, yes, but it's not nothing that we can't handle.
Where does getting booed at the Super Bowl rank in your bucket list?
It's actually pretty solid. I was trying to kind of break it down. There's about 60% Eagle fans, 40% Pat fans in there, and obviously being in Minnesota. So you got the Boston, Celtic, fan base. You got the trust the process fan base, and you got a team that we might play in the playoffs in the Western Conference. So it wasn't a good look for sure. But it's pretty solid. A resounding boo was definitely was fun. They showed Thibodeau on the screen too, which was hilarious in itself. He wanted to smile and kind of show some personality, which is good. But he got a little applause, so they were the home crowd showed up for sure.
Were you kind of surprised? You don't get booed very often.
No, it's surprised. I get booed everywhere we go on the road. I mean, we got Dub Nation travels, so it kind of mutes it out a little bit, but they definitely made me feel welcome there. It was good.
Does any part of you enjoy that?
Yeah, because they were booing Tom Brady the whole game, and he obviously represents a championship kind of pedigree, so it means you're doing something right if people hate you. That's kind of how I view it.
Steve was saying earlier that he feels like doing some of the little things right will it's not going to be. It's pretty simple to turn things up a notch after the All-Star break by doing more of the little things, right? Do you feel like it's some small tweaks that will take you guys?
Yeah, kind of what I was talking about. Just we boiled it down to the possession game, and that's turnovers and controlling the glass, and then our defense is just intensity and focus, and the consistency of that game to game. He showed, I think, a stat like we're 14-3 in the 17 games since I've been back, and we've only won the possession game 2 times out of that during that stretch, and that is pretty. It's good to hear because we know we can take. That's something we can control. It's just finding a man, putting body to body and controlling the glass. Stopping people from shooting threes as best we can and defending the 3-point line, and then not turning the ball over. Those are all things that, for the most part, you can control. And for 14-3, with not doing those things well, you got to do something about it. It's not just talking about it, but that definitely bodes well for us to elevate our game once we start looking forward to the playoffs.
That's a glaring stat, though, isn't it? Were you surprised to hear?
Yeah, I mean, I think our defense efficiency or rating, whatever that number is, it was way lower than it usually is. So there's bright spots in that conversation of we know what we needed to correct, but it's not all bad right now. I know everybody, especially sometimes, you hear all the noise about when we lose a game, how the microscope's on us and everything that happens, but it's the long season and you kind of just got to stick with the process and just be ourselves.
Are you convinced? Why are you convinced that the defensive intensity will pick up as the season goes on, or do you think it'll just lock into place once you get to mid-April in the postseason?
No, it won't. It can't wait that long, but I mean. I never like giving ourselves an out because I feel like we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and that's what's put 2 banners up, and we've changed the culture around here of what it means to be a winning team consistently. But there's a little bit of fighting that human nature. 4 years in a row into this grind, and when I went out, we were the guys were, I think, top 5 defensively. Our offense wasn't that great, but we were top 5 defensively, and we felt threatened, and everybody did their part to win those games and handle that stretch. And since, our offense has been pretty solid. We've just been slacking in other areas. So we know how to put the full package together, and we got 30 games or whatever to figure that out. But it's just the sense of perspective around what those details are. That we need to focus on, while understanding, on the offensive end, we have talent. We know how to play the right way, and things will start to click.
Is it hard not to say, screw it, the playoffs is what matter anyway?
I mean, no, because I can remember 2016, and we talked about chasing 73 and all that tough stuff. We weren't playing great basketball to end that season. That regular season, we were just doing just enough to win games. And that's the only reminder I think you need is what that felt like going into that playoff run where we scratched and clawed our way to the finals again. But looking back, we didn't have the right habits and the right perspective about how we were playing versus just winning games down the stretch of the season. So it's all a reminder I need.
Steph, what do you think about the event that All-Star Weekend has become, just above and beyond the actual game, but the whole weekend, it's become such a thing with all the ancillary events, the three-point shooting, which you've done, that sort of thing?
It's a great showcase for all the different talents and skill sets we have around the league, and showcasing obviously the All-Stars that are representing the NBA at the highest level and representing our teammates there. So I know in LA it's going to be even crazier with the scene down there, but it's fun, man. It's just a brief kind of celebration of the game, bringing everybody together. Saturday nights, it's fun to kind of root for guys that you play against on a daily basis and see them shine, whether it's a skill competition, a three-pointer dunk contest or whatnot, and just being a fan for a day, and then the game on Sunday, and you know, after that, that's kind of like the checkpoint of like, you know, after this, the only thing you're worried about is chasing a championship. So it's a fun time of year.
How does participating in the three-point shootout, say, compare with participating in the actual game itself?
It's just different. I mean, the three-point shootout, you're out there by yourself, and you know, it's just you and those 25 basketballs, and you got to just knock them down. But the game is more of a show. And appreciation for the talent that you know, like I said, the top 24 guys in the league, and just celebrating greatness. That three-point contest is just you know, can you beat whoever's next to you and knock them down. So I'll be rooting on Clay for sure to bring another trophy back for sure.